Welcome friends, it's Caleigh Bird, and this week I've been cruising around a handful of Florida's beautiful crystal clear blue springs, and I can't wait to share with you the adventure as well as the drawing and painting I made on this trip. So make sure you pop that subscribe button and ding the bell, because I always got your best artsy adventures. One of my best adventure buddies, Bela, and I decided we needed a little rest and respite from all this cooped up quarantine time, and we figured the safest way to get out was to do a few nights of camping and visit some beautiful springs here around our houses in Florida. Which is so perfect for me because not only do I love nature, but I look forward to any chance to bring Vaughn the Adventure Van out. Not only did we go to some springs, but we did a little hiking too. And if you're curious about the umbrellas, Bela and I have decided that we are over getting sunburned or rained on while we're outside. And an umbrella conveniently takes care of both of those. So Bela and I actually attempted a camping trip just a few weeks ago, but not thinking about Florida in the middle of summer, we didn't plan accordingly. This time, we planned our entire trip around visiting 5 different spring locations. One of them we were actually not able to get into, but all the rest we had so much fun back and forth every day. Most of the springs you could swim in, but even the ones that you couldn't were incredible to behold. Watching this bubbling sandstone rising right from the center of the earth, it was almost like watching lava in a different form, which I actually got to see on Big Island once. And seeing new earth form underwater or on land is just incredible. It's just like watching the earth continue to be born. Now, I'm not going to lie, we did experience a fair amount of rain because afternoon thunderstorms are just a thing here in Florida. But no matter what, we just kind of managed to stick it out and continue with the fun. ᴘᴇᴛᴏ Springs was probably one of my favorites. We got to tube down this clear blue river for an hour and a half. It was amazing. We had a little waterproof speaker and just jammed out. Some of the springs were definitely colder than others, but if you just went during the right time of day, which was pretty much the heat of the day, then everything felt really nice. I wasn't able to go snorkeling, but my friend Bela did, and she said she saw some really great fish under there. Next time for sure. And of course, on our little adventure, I had to have some time to do a little art making, so I brought my tiny little sketchbook and decided just to kind of look around. Now, there were a few places that we stopped that I would have loved to draw from, but as I said, it got a bit rainy here and there, and I didn't want to make Bela have to wait around during the prettier times of the day for me to draw when we really should be out on the water. So I was just able to do a little bit of sketching, but I really enjoyed it. I just kind of looked around at our campground on the 3rd day and found this fun little oak tree that was just barely starting to come up from the earth, and it just almost looked like a flower from on top, the way the leaves were just split and presenting themselves. It's really amazing how much variety there is in the plant life here in Florida. I mean, of course, there's the beautiful flowers and ferns and ivy and everything, but amidst all this sandy soil, somehow these giant oak trees still manage to take control of the landscape. It's really inspiring just how much wildlife and plant life is in Florida. So part of my plan while on vacation was actually to do some plein air painting, since I really haven't gone out and painted in nature since leaving Hawaii, which is a total tragedy considering what a beautiful, lush place I live in still. But honestly, even though I packed up all my paints, I brought my easel, I did everything right, I just wasn't able to find the time. Like I said earlier, it actually rained like a lot on this trip. And so it kind of made me think about how we have to sometimes change our expectations when art making. I mean, of course, when traveling and life in general. But I just thought that I would kind of share with you that, like, things are not always what they seem, of course. I'm sure you know this. Everyone has heard this. But, like, you know, I just made this great little travel vlog. Of course, it was only about 3 or 4 minutes, but it looked perfect and amazing. But you have to realize 3 or 4 minutes is like 1 minute a day. There was plenty of times when we're sitting there scratching our mosquito bites, or couldn't get the light to work at night, or, you know, raining, as I said, that we're just sitting there having to like wait it out, or like Bela slept in a tent while I was sleeping in Vaughn, and her tent got really wet one day. Luckily, she brought a really nice hammock that has like a screen around it and everything, and so she was able to sleep in that the next few nights, which she actually preferred. But, you know, all you see is this adorable vlog of us looking happy and swimming in blue water. But in reality, I mean, those things did happen, and we did have a great time, and we were really happy and smiling and laughing the whole time. But in reality, you know, it takes a long time to like get to a camp spot and set up your tent and everything, and then it takes a long time to like slice your vegetables for dinner, and then it takes a long time to like walk to the, you know, the shared bathroom and the shared showers within the campground. And of course, once her tent got wet, as I was saying, we had to pull everything out and hang everything from trees. So you just have to remember that from the outside looking in at somebody else's life, like, things can always seem really perfect and quaint and, you know, quintessentially chic and outdoorsy. But the reality is that there's a lot of stressful times that go into any vacation, much less a vacation where you are staying out in the elements the whole time. But this is not a complaint, or it's not a reason to say that you shouldn't go out, but you just need to realize that, you know, with camping, with life, unexpected things come up. And so, long story long, what I'm trying to say is I had really wanted to do some actual plein air painting and film it. I brought my easel, like I said, and even my tripod and everything, so I could film myself doing some actual in action plein air painting at one or maybe even two of the springs, but unfortunately it didn't work out that way. So I decided to come home and do a little painting from one of the photographs I took while we were tubing. And I decided to do it really, really tiny and in gouache for two reasons. One being that gouache is really nice for landscape painting because you're able to get some really bold colors down, and you're able to do it in sort of a way that doesn't require a lot of blending, also because it dries really quickly. And the other reason is because I tend to micromanage my paintings like super hardcore when I paint with oil. So I wanted to just kind of relax and allow myself to experiment, because I think I've talked about this in other videos, but I'm actually kind of a terrible landscape painter. I've enjoyed doing it a few times, but a lot of times I have a really hard time just seeing the shapes for what they are instead of trying to paint every single leaf or micromanage every single thing. So part of the reason, as I was saying, that I did this so small is because when you are creating a smaller work of art, you can only fit in so much detail. So I kind of felt like if I just did a little painting in a looser material, then I might actually have more success, because it would force me to not take things so seriously and just use the strokes of the brush and the way that the paint is laid in to bring in my effects, rather than having to precisely do each and every dot. Like the leaves, for example, I just used an old brush that was kind of frayed at the end and just kind of dabbed it in a whole bunch of times to get those leaves. And then when I did the little grasses in there, and it's just a few little marks on top of a few other little marks and a few other little marks. Like, no individual blade of grass is actually being shaded. And as far as the water, I don't even know what I'm doing. I've actually have not really painted water very much. And it's something that I've been wanting to actually experiment with more. So again, with the gouache, it kind of forces me just to relax and be chill and have fun with it. And if it doesn't work out, it's okay, because I've only spent, 2 hours on this painting instead of 2 weeks or whatever, which I do with a lot of my other paintings. And also because the gouache dries so quickly, Like, it's almost immediate. So I love that I'm able to just jump right into the next color, into the next color, into the next color, and I don't have to worry about things blending. As long as I don't put too much water on my paintbrush, then I won't blend the paints together, and I'll get kind of more of like a graphic look, which I know is pretty unusual for my artwork, but I really enjoy it. And I actually used to do more graphic style work kind of when I was younger and still experimenting and finding my style. So I think it's really fun, and I'm really excited to maybe do some more landscapes in gouache like this. So I decided to really bring out the blue color in the water a little bit more than in my reference painting, just because it's one of those things that when I took the photo, of course, you get the reflection of all the green in the leaves and the trees and everything, so I kind of lost some of the blueness in the water. So anyways, if this water seems a little bit unrealistically blue, it's because I'm kind of winging it, but you know, like I said, I'm trying to keep this painting loose and just having fun with it. And honestly, this is not a painting that I'm going to try to sell or like, you know, make prints of or anything. This is just something fun for me. I've actually learned that it can be really rewarding to create artwork either while you're on a trip or directly afterwards, like using some of your photos, because while you're painting it or drawing it, you're really immersing yourself either in the here and now, like when I did with my little oak tree drawing. Like, I really was feeling that oak tree and was really, you know, feeling the temperature outside and really just paying attention to every little leaf and every little shadow. And now here, while I'm painting this, I'm thinking about how the water was swirling around me, and I was thinking about all the beautiful cypress trees. I love cypress trees, how they make these big, beautiful bell bottoms. And I was thinking about how the sun was peeking through and twinkling between the trees, and I was thinking about how nice the water felt on my feet and my toes splashing around. So even though I wasn't able to do this painting physically in the area while I was doing the painting, because the memory of the tubing was so recent, like literally the day after, it felt so vivid and I was able to relive those memories. So I highly recommend making some art projects from whenever you have a really nice trip or adventure, because even if it's not anything major, nothing that you're trying to like commodify or whatever, it's really nice just to relive those experiences and then have this beautiful work of art that really means way more to you than it would to anyone else. I'm actually really thrilled with how this turned out, even though the water is like insane. I really love it, and I will never forget that wonderful day on the river because of it. I hope you guys enjoyed my little travel vlog. I hope you guys enjoyed watching me paint. Make sure you pop that subscribe button. Please ding the bell, because I'm always here. I got all kinds of fun stuff to share with you, and I can't wait to have you here every time.